Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Space Invaders TV. I'm your host, Rashawn, aka Looker. It is Thursday, July the 21st, 2022. And yes, peace and blessings to all you guys. Listen, you have to get out and vote, ladies and gentlemen. If you're in Greensboro, North Carolina, you need to get out and vote, ladies and gentlemen. Um, and we're talking about local vote. See, this is the time where you need to really vote and you want to see change in your community, okay? Um, and I firmly stand on this because one thing, and I've spoke about this before, when we think about local, when we think about our local government, and then we think about our national the country's government, which is the White House. That's the easiest way I would break it down for you, which is the legislation, the House. See, they're worried about they handle the country's business, okay? And you have legislators from different states in there, and I feel a lot of times those people anyway, they get it wrong, you know, and they're not tapped in with their states enough to really know what's going on, and they're looking at it from one point of view. And then if you get certain amount of, like, you get more Republicans than Democrats for your state. When we talk about legislators, and you might have some type of, off balance there. But all in all, really, to me, they're just not tapped in enough to me when we thinking about legislation and things of that nature. But we first have to start ground zero, where we live at, the city, the counties we live in. We have to start there first. Start making noise there first. That's what has to be done, okay? And so what I'm saying is, and this is for everyone around the country, any city, county, every city, county around this country, you have to start locally. You have to start tapping in to your local government and start kind of getting involved. You'll see more change there. You shall see more change there. The more people in your city and county that will come out and vote. Okay? And even with your state. Okay? But you have to start in your city and town where you reside. That's where it starts out first. That's where you get your bones at. That's what you get. That's where you can get the kind of understanding. That's where you have the most understanding from the start, because you're there every day. You work, you play, you handle your business where you lay. You're seeing the most going on. Okay, so right now, Greensboro, North Carolina, right now, elections, is for the city council elections, Tuesday, July 26th. You know what I mean? You got the mayors. You got a mayor seat that's up. And the way things are going right now, and then with city council members, listen. This Greensboro, North Carolina, for all that's from the area, and even if you're going to be moving to this city, to Greensboro, North Carolina, it's a city with a lot of potential. It's a city with so many people from so many different places. I've been a resident in Greensboro, North Carolina for 21 years, going on 22 in September, okay? And it's a thriving city. It's so much potential. You have so many great minds, young and old. here in the city. It's a gumbo pot with people, not only the locals that know so much and that are here, and then some of the locals, when you get to talk to them that maybe, here in the city for a long time, they got so much history, they can tell you so much. And some of them, which is understandable, some of them, they're their spirits are shot, because some are from certain parts of the city that is in dire need of change, and they don't see it. They haven't seen it like they would like to see it. So some don't have the expectations that the confidence, their spirit is like not there, and what I've noticed in myself personally, and if you reside in the city, and you can relate to this, if you've migrated to any city around this country in the United States, and you may see the same thing that I'm speaking of right now, where their spirits are shot from, the local government. They have no trust. They don't believe. They have so many people, that sit on the local governments that have been in seats for years, and they're from the city as well, and they do nothing. They do nothing but talk. They just talk. They don't even. There's things that you can literally ride around and see. And let's be clear here. Just in Greensboro alone, if it wasn't for some of the institutions, such as like A&T University, UNCG, that were building and expanding, they kind of help the city a little bit by the way that those schools, those institutions are expanding, because they bring a different look. Whereas if they wouldn't have brought up certain properties, those places would still sit dormant. Though it'd be still empty land sitting there because the city wouldn't do anything. There's a church here in Greensboro, and everybody, if you're in the city here, you'll know what I'm talking about. House of Prayer. That church, and I may be saying the name wrong, but it sits right there on East Market Street, right on the corner across from A&T State University. They just brought up a lot of land, the land where the post office used to be at, the old post office was before they moved it, They bought that land up, and they're putting businesses and apartments there. If it wasn't for that church buying that land there, that land would still sit there dormant. Meanwhile, there's a housing shortage. So you wonder, why didn't the city just build some affordable housing there? Why didn't the city lobby for contractors to put affordable housing there? You know what I'm saying? But it goes for the church. That church is building and putting business there. So now a empty spot that sat dormant will now look like something. It will bring something that was a sore eye, a section that was a sore eye, a spot I should say that was a sore eye. Now we can look like something. So then you look at A&T State University right over there, right? They just expanded onto the corner, and they brought out, they had the old YMCA, YWCA building. They brought that out. Then they eventually knocked it down. They expanded again. So A&T State University expanding. They've been expanding. They've been on a roll. I want to say, honestly, I can be off, I could be wrong, but I've lived around in that area, so I can kind of say I might be a little off, but I want to say for the last 15 years, they've been constantly on a roll expanding. But them and UNCG have been like neck and neck expanding. So UNCG has been expanding on one part, another section of the city, and they've been expanding on a section of the city on the east side where it's been lacking a lot. But with them expanding, they're bringing more money into the area for businesses there, because now they're making the college more attractive for students to come from different parts of the country to their university. The same as UNCG. So it's bringing a lot of money to that section where UNCG is. But you wonder why the city haven't stepped up. And then you look around certain areas and you see, like, you go off of Martin Luther King, and I remember when one section of Martin Luther King, and everybody can, the section that's closer to downtown, I remember when that was just empty lots and ran down homes. The next thing you know, boom, they start building up, and they built up all those, they got that area built up there. But we still have a problem where you have people walking, you still have the prostitution and the drugs going on Martin Luther King, further away from the downtown area now, moving away from the area, going across the bridge past downtown area. You know, it's like they pushed it all back that way, where it once was that whole strip. Now they pushed it back, and you still have homeowners there, people that work every day. They got to come outside and see that shit. But the folks that live closer to the downtown section of Martin Luther King, where they rebuilt and built up and put these homes that are like, you know, those homes were, when they built them 15 years ago, they were like $200 and something thousand, you know, then. But then you went down and crossed that bridge, those homes weren't worth shit, you know? And they still don't kind of look worth nothing when you have all of this kind of traffic going on. But these are hard-working people, and why they don't get the same treatment? And we're talking the same strip. Why can't they come outside of their homes, and they're sitting right on a main boulevard, one of the main boulevards in the city? Why can't those folks come out? And they're sitting, and it's a historical neighborhood, the old Asheboro neighborhood, that's like run, you know, it's trying to come together and build up. You see, if you ride through it, and old Asheboro is right inside off of Martin Luther King. Old Asheboro area was a thriving community for blacks, you know, back in the day, the 50s, 40s, back in the day, you know, and you can kind of get the sense and the vibe when you look at the homes, and when you ride inside of old Asheboro, you'll get it. So I say all that, ladies and gentlemen, to say, like, there's so many people here in this city from different places, and you have a lot of great minds here. You have people that come from that's not from here, that made Greensboro, North Carolina their home, and want to bring change and want to do change. And understanding that the locals, most of the local residents that really do want to see change, like understanding that their spirits have been shot because they haven't seen, you know, the change, and they might have had a fight. And I'm not saying all of the original born and raised residents of the city of Greensboro, I'm not saying all of them are spirits are shot, but a good majority of them, especially majority of our seniors. And then a lot of our seniors, I've noticed, have been misled, you know, and they're being misled and led by the same people that been kind of sitting in certain seats for a long freaking time here in the city, okay? And not doing anything but patting their own pockets, okay? Fattening their own pockets, I should say, all right? So what I say is this here. You have coming up, right? The elections, the city elections coming up here. Mayor candidates, right? And I want to read this article from the Rhino Times real quick, all right? Let's get this here. Give me a second, folks. All right. All indicators of that, and then, again, this is from the Rhino Times. All indications are that the Tuesday, July 26th election will set a record for the low voter turnout, which means the few who turn out to vote will determine the direction the city will take in the coming 4 years. Greensboro is currently the third largest city in North Carolina, but that is likely to change in the next 4 years because Durham, which currently has a population of about 10,000 less than Greensboro, is growing more than twice as fast as Greensboro. It will take a radical departure from business as usual for Greensboro to grow because Greensboro currently has a major housing shortage, which means that people who want to move to Greensboro may not be able to because they can't find suitable house or apartment. With Toyota and Boom coming to the area, but not to Greensboro, the benefit to Greensboro has to be in new residents and new business locating near these economic engines. With the current lack of housing, high taxes, and unfriendly attitude toward private business, Greensboro could be left behind. Radical change means electing new people with a different attitude to the city council and with the anticipated low voter turnout. There's a great opportunity to do just that. I'm going to stop there for a minute. Again, that is from the Rhino Times. That came out, the Rhino Times, on July the 11th, 2022. It was posted by John Hammer. And that was the Rhino Times, okay? So that is what I'm talking about. You know, there is so much potential for change when you have old minds in. And as I said a while back, you have to get, we got to get these old names out of there with old thoughts. And we need fresh, young minds in there. And not even, they ain't even got to, if they ain't young, but we need fresh minds in there. You need innovative thinkers, you know, people that are down with change and seeing things different. Not these same people that's sitting in there treating this as a regular job. When you're dealing with a people and you're dealing with, you have to always want to be on the cusp of change. You cannot sit in a seat and dealing with the masses and doing the same freaking thing and selling the same thing. And it's not like they're trying to direct their point. They know exactly, these folks know exactly who they want to go at. And when I talk about folks, I want to talk about people like the Simpkins pack. These type of folks, right? They're going to continue to go at the same type of people. You know why? And the Simpkins pack, you can look it up. It's SIMKINSPAC.com. All right. I want y'all to look that up. I'll put it at the bottom of the screen as well again. But you got to understand something. When you have folks like that and they keep voting, they want to keep bringing the same people in. They're going to keep attracting the same people to get the same people to sit in these seats. All right? They're not going to go at the young minds. You hear nothing about them here talking about fresh young minds. You have so many colleges right here alone in Greensboro. Okay? You got Greensboro College, UNCG, A&T, what's that? Guilford College. You even have you even have the 2-year college. Okay, you have at least 5 to 6 colleges here in Greensboro alone. Okay, that's a lot of young movers and shakers coming in and out of this city every year, every quarter. There's new people. That's just there with the college, because you gotta have kids that may be transferring all around, from different places coming into the area. Then you're not even talking about just people just migrating from different states, period, with their families or just solo. You feel what I'm saying? There's a lot of, come on, okay? So you have Greensboro, Raleigh, and Charlotte, and then you have Winston-Salem. Those are the 4 largest, cities in the state right there, okay? But out of the 4, you got, the top you will have Charlotte, Raleigh, and Greensboro, right? Well, Raleigh, you often hear people say Raleigh-Durham, okay? Because they're so close. You would think they would say the same for Greensboro, Winston, too. But, and which they do, they do pair Greensboro and Winston. When you're thinking on an economic tip, they do kind of pair them a lot sometimes. Um, but Raleigh, Durham, and the Charlotte area, those places are booming. They're innovative. They're moving up. And one thing for sure, Charlotte has been the banking hub of the country. They're the banking hub of the country. At least they was. I don't know if it really changed. I haven't tapped into it. On a innovation and technology level, you have the Raleigh Durham area just been booming for years. And then you ask yourself on this level right here on this side with Greensboro, what and even the Greensboro Winston, what is their thing? What is their thing? But we're not talking about Winston, we're talking about Greensboro. What is their thing? What is the thing that they do the best? What is it? What is it? Nobody can tell you. What is it that they do the best? What is it that they're going to specialize in? That they have to offer the country first, then the world. What do they have to offer here? What is that thing? And they have not found it yet. So we have to this place you need new thinkers, movers, and shakers. Okay, so you have this guy coming in. There's a lot of mixed reviews about him. He threw his hat in the game on June 3rd. He just threw his hat in the game. You have the guy Greensboro, Chris Meadows. He announced he will be running for mayor. He a write-in candidate. He just wrote himself in. All right. Then you had just District 3 City Council member Justin Outling, and you have Nancy Vaughn that's been in there, and that Nancy Vaughn and Justin Outling, they need to be out. That definitely you don't need them. Definitely not Nancy Vaughn. Ever since this whole pandemic, you barely really heard from the woman. So it's like, what are we doing? I don't feel like for small business as a whole that they're really what I've noticed with the small businesses downtown Greensboro, because they all are on this coalition together, that they'll do more things for them. I watched during the pandemic, I watched how they shut the streets down for those businesses, but I said, what about the rest of the businesses on the outskirts of the city? That's in the interior of the city, I should say, not the outskirts. In the interior of the city that's been holding the city down. What about those small businesses? Why are we only shutting blocks down for the businesses downtown? What about the other small businesses? What about when you talk about shopping in the city, you don't just talk about, when you talk about shopping small business in the city, you don't just talk about the small business downtown, you talk about small business across the entire city. See, there's a divide there. See, when you want to excel as a city, you can't play those games, okay? You have to, if you want to grow, you have to want your entire city to grow. And that also, and when you put a mayor in there, they have to have that leadership and that thinking. Vaughn doesn't have that. She's been sitting in there long enough. She doesn't have that thought. She doesn't have it. There's too many conflict of interest, and we'll get into that. With Justin Outling, understand his ties. His dad worked as a sanitation worker and all of that thing. He was a retired sanitation worker for so many years. But when I look at Justin Outling, when I look at his marketing, the way he's pitching, it's generic. It's like, it's throwback. It's a throwback. Like, it's like, dude, we're in the 21st century, bro. Move up with your. Do you know who you talking to? There's a lot of young movers and shakers around. They're moving around this city. They're moving around. They're all over this. They're moving around the state. But there's some of them that are still left here, and some of them that will be here for the next 3 years because they're in college. Dude, you're not talking to just the senior citizens. You talking to everybody. You're talking to people who are out here every day. You can't just be talking this generic talk about, I'm going to make change. How? Don't just speak at it. Say how you want to do it. Let the people understand and recognize that you see the things that are going on and speak to them. Don't speak around them. You understand? And that's what I get from him. Now this gentleman, Chris Meadows, I don't know much about him, but I know one thing: the first two, Nancy Vaughn and Justin Outling, ain't gonna do it. Okay, they just not gonna do it, and we're gonna jump right into why they not gonna do it. Okay, and this is something that's going on between them. This was put July the 20th. This was put on July the 20th, just yesterday, Wednesday, 2022. Mayoral campaign issues raised at city council meeting. So this is what's going on. The two mayor candidates, Mayor Nancy Vaughn and District 3 City Council member Justin Outling, have been back and forth on recusals during the campaign. And for those who don't know what recusals mean, they've been having to excuse themselves from different votes, like because there's a conflict there. Maybe they work for a company. Maybe somebody that their wife or boyfriend or whatever, a husband is working for a company, and that they're having to vote on a certain bond or something. So they excuse themselves. That's what a recusal is. They're excusing themselves because there's a conflict there. And pretty much what's going on with Justin Outling being that he works for a law firm, and Nancy Vaughn has a boyfriend that he works for some firm. What did it say here? What it says, Vaughn has made the point that because Outling is a partner at the Brooks Pierce law firm, he frequently has to recuse himself from votes because of the involvement of his firm. So it's things like that. He works for a law firm, and then you working on a city council, but then you can't vote on certain things because your law firm has a deal with them, and that's a conflict of interest. Here's my thing. How are you going to become mayor? How are you going to be a mayor if there are things that need to be voted on and you won't even vote on them? Even though they say that's your duty, they're supposed to vote on certain things. They just can't excuse themselves because some people might try to just use that as an excuse, and it may be false. Like, oh yeah, I can't because I have a friend or whatever that's that a third, so I'm gonna recuse myself. Some people may just try to use that just because they don't want to vote, but you can't just do that. And so if you don't vote in a situation where it's not really a conflict of interest, if you following me, if you don't vote, they're going to automatically make it a yes. It's not going to be a no. They're going to automatically make your vote a yes, whatever it is. They're going to still vote for you. All right? So my thing is, how someone like Justin Outling and Nancy Vaughn, you both having these issues where you have to excuse yourself because of conflicts of interest, because she has a boyfriend that sits on the firm, and Justin Outling works on the firm. And Justin Outling, you're trying to be the mayor, you're trying to run for mayor, but you have to excuse yourself because you're part of this firm. So my thing is, are you going to still be part of this firm if you was to become mayor? What are we doing? What are we doing? That's a conflict of interest. Why are we even allowing that? It should be straight up. You can't sit on these seats, man. If you part of certain, if a group that you're part of is heavily that's involved in business deals within the community, you should not be able to sit on no city seat, no county seat. Why would you want to anyway? We know why, but I'm just saying. Okay? You want to be in the know. You want to know everything that's going on. So my thing is, someone like Justin Outling, you on a law firm, why would you want to sit on the city council though? If your law firm is making all of these moves and you got to keep excusing yourself from different city business, you have to keep excusing yourself when you signed up to be on the city board, and now you wanna become the mayor of the city, but you want to keep excusing yourself. Why are you even a part of this? Continue to work with your law firm and get your money over there. But we understand why you want to have your hands still in the pot over here, and that way you let your company know, oh, don't go left, go right, because this is going on over there. I understand with that type of game. That's why I said, Justin Outling, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? You see that from about 100 miles and running, brother. You know what I mean? If you're gonna stay in your law firm, stay in your law firm, get money, man. That's what you went to school for law. Get money, man. Stay over there. You want to do something for the community? Do your own nonprofit thing for the community. Do some nonprofit thing. Then show us that you really trying to do something for the community. Do something nonprofit, because you sitting on the city council, if you got to keep excusing yourself and then you got the nerve to want to run for mayor, it's pointless, my man. Get up off the pot, man. All right. So Outling is questioning Nancy Vaughn. He said that she's been asked to excuse herself from different votes as well, because she has a significant other that worked with a certain she has a boyfriend that works for I'm trying to find it here, folks. Give me a minute. He works for a consulting firm. I'm trying to find the name of the firm. All right. Her Nancy Vaughn's boyfriend is a part-time consultant for Davis and Martin and Powell Associates. Okay, so she has to excuse herself. She's been asking to excuse herself from different votes as well. So my thing is, why are you people, if you're the mayor, you're excusing yourself, Nancy Vaughn. You don't need to excuse yourself from shit. You haven't really spoke throughout the whole pandemic alone. You've been really quiet. You have a job as the mayor. You haven't. The only thing I heard is when the people were protesting, doing the George Floyd killing that happened in Minnesota. When the people in the city here, Greensboro, the young adults were protesting downtown. That's the only time I really heard you speak. You were concerned about the businesses downtown getting their windows and things and getting damages. You weren't concerned about why they were really protesting. It was just concerned about damages. I just feel like these people like this city doesn't need that. You need someone that's going to be focused on taking the city where it needs to go. Okay? And we even talk about city council members. We need to get people that are serious to take the city where it needs to go. It is too much potential here. You should feel a way when you have somebody right down the road, an hour going east of you, that they're thriving. You have going south for you, Charlotte, they're going to continue to keep thriving, but you guys here can't even get it right, because it's too much of the same people in the seats and nothing changing. All right. So my thing is, then you have this SIMPAC, right? Now, everybody that knows that watch me, there's nothing racist about me, but I just keep it real. So this, first of all, let me go to the SIMPAC, and I want y'all to, y'all could go to the website yourself too, right? Is once again, it's Simkins PAC, SIMKINSPAC.com. All right. Now you probably seen these things show up on your doorstep as well. It'll say the Guilford County Citizens PAC, aka George C. Simpkins Jr. PAC. And George Simpkins was he was a dentist here in the city, so it's named after him. I believe here, yes. So it's named after him, if I'm correct, right? So now, the George C. Simpkins is supposed to be this. All right, yeah. Let me read it off for you here. Well, who George C. Simpkins really is? Yeah. And George C. Simpkins was the man. He went against Cone back in the day. And she was a suit against them. I'm going to read it here. The Greensboro Medical Society was formed several years after the opening of L. Richards Memorial Hospital, which opened on May 4th, 1927. Early accounts indicate that the society was not active during the late 20s and 30s. In the mid-40s, however, the GMS was reactivated during the time Dr. G.H. Evans, C.C. Stewart, J.P. Sebastian, J.C. Waddy Jr., Hawkins W.J. Hughes Sr., G.C. Simpkins Sr., B.W. Barnes, M.S. Jenkins, W. Marrow, and Hargraves were the physicians, dentists, and pharmacists who composed the society and staff L. Richardson Hospital. All members were also affiliated with the Old North State Society and National Medical Association. They came together during this time for the purpose of education, fellowship, networking, and socialization. Because of the policy of segregation, which was prevalent in America during this time, these doctors were denied staff privileges at the majority hospitals and membership in the mainstream majority health professional organization. These include the American Medical Association, American Dental Association, and their regional and local affiliates. The Greensboro Medical Society therefore served as an outlet to temper the ill effects of the isolation of these times. After World War II, leaders in the black community were determined to improve health care for black persons by ending discrimination in hospitals. Hospital policies and practices. Leaders of the professional organization developed a collaborative strategy that involved the court system, federal legislation, and research and education of the public and health professionals to integrate the hospital system rather than to expand the existing separate but equal system. Efforts culminated in the case of Simpkins versus Moses H. Cone Hospital. This case became the landmark decision by the U.S. Supreme Court and led to the elimination of segregation health care. All right. So Mr. Simpkins, being that this pack, that's what it's named after, he led, a group of physicians, and they went to the Supreme Court, and as I said, elimination of segregation in healthcare, and it's called Simpkins versus Cone. So that's what this pack is named after. For me to be honest with you, I don't understand the parallel of that there. But what I do understand is none of y'all ain't, Mr. Simpkins was fighting for change and fairness in healthcare, right? But you guys that's on this list here, y'all put Mayor Nancy Vaughn in. Y'all thought that people should vote for her. You got your Vaughn Justin in there, city council at large. I don't understand about that, for one. When it comes to Vaughn Justin, what I don't understand is that she was a mayor at one time, right? Okay, she didn't garner the votes to get back in the seat, right? So then I don't understand how you turn back around and now you went back to the city council. I don't understand how do you go backwards. What I'm trying to understand is why somebody like that, see what I'm saying? You have people like, mind you, like Vaughn Justin was on the city council at one point before she ran for the mayor, right? And then she got in at the mayor, and then after her term was up, she didn't get reelected. And from my understanding, she was a little bitter and salty about that too. But then you come back and then you go back to the city council. My thing is that you were already in there, Miss Vaughn Justin. Why not just make some type of non-profit grassroots thing? You should know what the city need. You live and reside in the city, right? Why don't you create something for the city, for people in the community, okay? Because you know the inside. You've been in there, okay? You don't seen nothing happen. I ain't seen nothing change since you've been in there. And when you got out, I ain't seen nothing change, and you come back, okay? So that's my thing there. Goldie Wells, what are we doing? Let's get these people out of here. You need new, fresh minds, bro. We need a whole overhaul of these people. Same way I felt about the school board. A whole overhaul. All of these people are like, they just bounce. Some of them folks will bounce from one. They go, it's like, they just treat it like a regular job. They'll go, they might go city council to the school board, from school board to city council. These people have bounced around, okay? And you don't see the change. You don't see the change. And you see the same people sitting in there. So I say to the people, listen, you have to get involved in the local government. You have to pay attention. July 26th, you go and you vote, okay? You need to go and vote. Cast your vote. Your vote matters. It really does matter. These people that sit in these seats, they keep bouncing around and we see no change. You have to get them out. You have to get them out. Or else this city is just going to sit dormant. And there's too much potential here, and there's too much of the same corporations getting money and expanding and nothing else. You don't see nothing else new come in. You know, and you know why? You see, they talk about the Toyota plant and the sonic boom, and the Toyota's supposed to be doing the batteries, but it's not coming to Greensboro. Anything's going to be on the outskirts, and the sonic boom is the jet company, whatever, they build jets or whatever. What a lot of these places, like, see, like with Greensboro, gotta understand, you gotta have some diversity, man. You gotta show that a lot of these corporations, you know, they know what time it is. They know what has to be done. They know that what their company has to bring on a global scale. So like, they come into your city, they don't see no growth in your city. Like, you know, yeah, people are coming, maybe moving here, but then you don't see no growth. You know, most companies, a lot of companies still do have a code of ethics and morals and standards, okay? They still live by that. You can go to their websites, and most companies that have it on their website, they still have a code of ethics they stand on, okay? They have codes that they stand on, you know, and they're fair. I'm not saying all of them, but a majority of good stand-up companies out here, the ones that are, when you find them, so if they come to your city or they come to your state, and then they looking around, and yeah, you may have the land that they need and everything, but then if they see that you're not really innovative, and they're an innovative company, they don't see that you really have no growth, and they're a company that's been growing, and they're young. They like innovation and young, fresh minds. They like to bring people up, right? But then they see they see that your people, you don't have no young, fresh minds sitting in your seats. What these people would see, what the people in North Carolina, when they sit in these government seats and with the city seat, what they don't understand is these corporations look at that. Yeah, you could throw all the money in the world at them, but they look at that. Point in case. Just think about this in closing. If anybody from the area here, remember when Dell was here, the computers. They threw all this money at Dell and this, that, and the third. Dell had all of this land out there. They didn't stay past their contract, man. Dell got up out of here, man. And they gave them the money back, said, look, we out. Because it was something that they didn't like. You know what I mean? And they went on about their business, and it ain't hurt them a bit. They still in business till this day. They was in business before that, and Dell was that was the height of Dell when they came here. They were like really booming, like all over the place. Like hearing like Dell was making a name, you know. And all of a sudden they left this area quietly. As big of a noise they made coming in, is as quietly as they left out, man. Like they got up out of here, man, and they never come back. Nothing. They left, never looked back, because it was something that they seen, something that wasn't right, and I can imagine what it was, and that's what people gotta understand. See, there's a lot of local people sitting on a local government with local thoughts. I'm gonna let that sit with y'all. That's my time, ladies and gentlemen. Please get out there and vote if you can. July the 26th. Get yourself out there and vote. We got to get these people that have been sitting on these seats for so long. You got to get them out of there. You got to get them out of there. You know, there's so much money coming to this city. You don't hear no change of like what they really want to do about it. What they really want to do with the money that they're getting, that they've received. You don't hear nothing what they want to do. It's like, okay, what about all this millions of dollars that you guys received? The county at one point had received earlier this year 100 million, and the city 50 million. You know, what are they doing with that money? What are they doing with that money? What we do hear about is the 50 million they got or what have you for the immigrant children coming to Greensboro for the American Hebrew Academy. That's what we do hear what they doing with that. Really quick, you hear what they doing with that, but they've got money from the government well before this was I've even heard about months and months ago, and we have yet to really hear what they're doing with that money. The city is doing with the money that they received to make changes to upgrade. Don't keep tinkering around with the roads. Yeah, the roads, you can always keep upgrading the roads, but let's not keep tinkering around with that. Let's just be clear. Obama put money into the hands of these states when he was in office for the infrastructure. Okay, so a lot of this shit that we seeing on the roads, that was implemented back then. Let's be clear about that with the infrastructure of the roads. So and bridges and highways and stuff like that like he put that out there. That was done when Obama was in office. Okay, on his first term. Okay, so let's just be clear about that. So like, some of these places are probably just still spending that money. All right, and what are you doing with the money? That's all I'm saying. But what we do here is about the American Hebrew Academy. They're using that for the immigrant children that's going to be awaiting families. They're buying up that place there, okay? And they're getting, what they say, it is 100 acres in 4334 Hobbs Road. That includes 31 buildings, 412,000 square feet, an 18 million athletic center, an auditorium and variety of athletic fields, and even a 22-acre lake. That is all on that property, and they got that money for that, and they've been talking about that, but they ain't talking about what they're doing with the money with the city. You know, Nancy Vaughn can get out and talk about that, but what about the money you got to better your city? What about the money you got to put to different projects in your city? What are you doing with that, Nancy Vaughn? What are you guys doing? But these people still want to get voted back in to run a city. But they're not talking to the people about what was needed. Yeah. This is the things that I'm talking about. And you had a gentleman, Justin Outling. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, you talking that stuff, but you're not talking about what you want to do. So if you're going to come in and take somebody else out, at least talk about what you want to do and be aggressive and be intentional about what you're trying to do, buddy. All of this 1980s. I'm looking at his commercial. I'm looking at his. I'm like, man, this shit from the 1980s, bro. Like, where do we? Like, bro, come on, bro. Like, you gotta talk a little better than this, bro. You gotta be a little more intentional. You gotta be intentional, not a little more. Be intentional about what you're trying to do, man, and speak forward to the people. All of this dancing around and this, no, man, them old ways of politics is out the door. I tell people, hey, they don't care what you feel. Obama turned the page, bro. He turned the page and showed people how this thing has to be run. You have to meet the people where they stand. He They were sending text messages. They were emailing. They were getting at the people. He was targeting the young minds because he knew what the young people. He knew what technology was going. Because not only the young minds texting and all of that, you have the older, the seniors doing it today too. Most of them that is aware, they're texting and things of that nature. So like you have to meet the people where they stand. You have to get at them and get in their face and talk about the things that are on the people's mind. And that's where it has to be done. And if you're not gonna do that, you need to get out of here. If you're not down with uplifting the people and bringing them, being innovative, making it more attractive, the city, making it attractive here. This is a city, it's not a town. Okay, it's not a small town, and that's what I'm saying. When people, these older people that sit in these seats for years, they got small town thinking. It's not a town, man. It's not a town. This is a city, and you have people coming from other cities around this country, from the north, the Midwest, the West. You got people the Southwest. You got people coming from all over the country, first of all. And then not only that, you have people that have been here from out of this country. You have to be innovative. People have come from different places and seen all types of stuff. You have to make this thing attractive here. Okay? And what I'm saying is a lot of people sitting in these city seats, they're too comfortable. Gotta start making them uncomfortable. So get out there and vote, y'all. And let your voices be heard, and get involved with your local governments, man, because that's where you want to see change. That's where you see it at. When you saying to yourself, man, why I don't see enough police around here, but I see it over there. That's because you ain't getting your ass out there and vote and making this joke and making it known to whoever's running in your community and whoever's running for the city government that this is what you need. You're not letting it be known. The same way people get up and they talk about, I hear so many people talk about, the presidential races, executive government, they talk about that, presidential races, the House, the legislation. Yeah, the legislation, yes, fine. That's exactly, you have to talk about that as well. But that's where it's at. It's not really the president, it's the legislation. Okay, legislators, that's what you got to go at, and getting those type of people out of there too, and putting people in the right space. But when I hear so much talk on that level, but with the local level, you don't hear too many people, and so you sometimes get the same people going to vote, putting the same people back in those seats, and you barely getting new people coming out to vote because they're not tapping in. So tap in, ladies and gentlemen. Tap in. That's my time. I'm your host, Rashawn, aka Looker. This is Space Invaders TV. Once again, you can tap into the Simpkins pack, which is SIMKINS PAC, and then you can see what I'm talking about with that Simpkins pack there. Like, this is supposed to be it's called themselves the Greensboro Black Pack. The Greensboro Black Pack. And I ain't racist or nothing, but I'm going to say this right here. They call themselves, they say the Greensboro Black Pack, but you vote. Y'all put Nancy Vaughn, y'all endorsing Nancy Vaughn, the white woman that ain't done shit. Make it make sense, man. That's all I'm saying. So I just want y'all to go check that out. Y'all can get an understanding of that goofy shit. Or maybe not. And tap in with the Rhino Times too, man. They always, with government, local government here in the city of Greensboro, for real, they give up a lot of information and a lot of insight on what's going on. They stay in the know with that local. I got to give them their props, Rhino Times. They do stay up on the city politics here. And what's going on, they could give you a clear understanding, and then you could take it from there, and you can dive deeper in a lot of things. But they do one thing, if anything, they do give you a understanding of what's kind of going on around here. You know what I'm saying? So tap in with the Rhino Times, RHINO Times, Times. Tap in with them, ladies and gentlemen, and get a clear understanding as well. Again, this is Rashawn, aka Looker. Y'all stay safe, and I'll talk to you next time.